The first Omen tells the story of a young girl named Margaret. She's giving her life to the nunnery, and she has a connection with this church or this priest at this church who basically took care of her when she was younger because she had some kind of problems that she kept seeing things, and he helped her. And so now she's devoted her entire life because she no longer has these visions that she once had to become a nun and she wants to give her life to Christ because she thinks that Christ saved her from her visions that she had when she was younger because the priest came and cured her. So I just got back from seeing the first Omen. I said I was going to go see it because I did a trailer reaction. So I went to the theater and I saw the film. So I didn't write anything down, just going off the top of my head. And I will say the positives first. There will be some spoilers here. I said in my trailer reaction that it looks good. It looked good, the filming wise. The director did a competent job directing the movie. It looks very well. The cinematography is good. It matches along with the original Omen, which I saw recently as well. I watched that to refresh my memory on the film because I haven't seen the film since I was a kid. And to be honest, The Omen is not one of my favorite horror films of all time because I watched it the first time and I liked it, but everyone was like, this is such a great film. And it's a good movie, the original Omen. It's good. What's good about it is the mystery, trying to find out if the kid really is the son of Satan. So I wasn't a huge fan of the original. We said that already. Okay. But it was a good movie. And I'm rewatching it, it refreshed my memory because I'm like, I said things during my trailer reaction. I'm like, I remember this, I remember that, but I wanted to, see the entire film. Okay. Alrighty. So going into this, like I said, the cinematography is good. The director did a competent job. And the main actress, she's very good. I will say that. She does a very good job in her portrayal as this character, Marguerite, I believe. I don't want to go into everything that happens in the film. She goes there to become a nun. Okay, things start happening, and she discovers this weird plot, this underlying secret society that's happening in there. And like everything that the trailer showed, the teaser trailer that I reviewed, is accurate. I predicted everything, almost. One thing which they didn't use, and I don't understand why, would be the whole demonic thing. Where I said, oh, that girl looks to be demonic. She might be the mother of Damien, but then why is this nun here and what's going on? Because it seems like she's going to have sex with somebody, but that's not how it happened in the movie. In the original movie, I remember saying her mother was a jackal, and then when they go to the cemetery and they look and they see the baby, his baby, with the heads crushed. So that was Gregory Peck's. What's his name? Gregory Peck, Robert Thorne's child that his wife gave birth to that day that they killed. And then next to it was the mother of Damien's mother, supposedly, and it was a jackal, the bones of a jackal. So in this version, no, it's the nun. It's Margaret. She's the mother. So, and this is the main thing, okay? I'm sorry. I go back and forth over here. Okay, so those are the positives of the film. Good acting, well-directed, great cinematography. The bad, slow-paced, predictable, and boring. That's the bad. It was very boring, and I don't know what's going on. This movie feels like more like they wanted to do Rosemary's Baby instead of doing The Omen. And that's what it feels like, a combination of Rosemary's Baby and The Omen. And one of the most interesting aspects of the film would have been her actually discovering more about this church, and that it's really like a satanic church, and delving into more of their rituals and trying to conjure up Satan to have sex with. See, they ruin it too. Spoiler alert, here we go. Is that it ruins everything a lot with Damien's character, so to speak, as he's not the first Satan's child. Satan obviously comes up and bangs a lot of women. All these nuns, because guess what? One of the nuns in the church that Margaret goes to is her mother, and she had sex with Satan too, and that's how Margaret. So Margaret, the demonic thing didn't even happen. And then I don't understand. There's this other girl who's in the movie that she has the same issues as Margaret supposedly had as a child. She sees things. She's a loner. All the blah 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 blah, and she has the 666 birthmark in her mouth, and. I'm like, well, so then it just devalues Damien's purpose and worth if they had so many of these kids. And what they're trying to say, the girls weren't worthy enough to be the spawn of Satan, or to be the ones that are it's got to be a boy to do that. And then they say a stupid line at the end of the film too, like once she gives birth. So she gives birth to twins. Spoiler again. So she gives birth to twins at the end of this all. Satan looks horrible too. She gives birth to twins, a girl and a boy, and she asks to hold the boy before they gonna take it away from her and probably kill her. And she kills the priest, takes the baby, threatens to kill the baby. Her mother comes over and takes the baby away from her. Oh, because somebody else stabs her roommate, which is the one that got her to go out and get drunk and get pregnant, or get drunk by that guy. And that guy ends up taking her and drugging her and then taking her to have make love with Satan on an altar in front of all these people. And they all watch as Satan has sex with her, which is like reminiscent of Rosemary's Baby. And they don't do a good job with the Satan looking like Satan or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, man. This movie was like, I hear a lot of positive reviews about this film. And most of the time, most of them, there's one person that reviewed it that gave it a good review and they've seen the original. But most of the people that are giving it good reviews have never seen the original. And they're going, oh, this was a good horror movie. It surprised me. I was expecting it to be nothing, and it was somewhat good. This is not terrible. This is not terrible. It's just a nothing. It's predictable. Everything was halfway through the movie. I already figured out. Oh, it's her. It's Margaret. She's the one. She's a spawn of Satan too. Like I don't understand. Clarita is. I don't know what's her purpose in this film. But I don't know. She's to confuse us, I guess, to make us think that it's her that's going to be the one that's going to have Satan's child. But no, it's not. Then her roommate, the one that gave her up, I thought it would have been cool if she end up being Mrs. Baylock, the one that takes care of Damien later on. They also do things that take away. There are good scenes, scary, like not scary, but cool, interesting scenes in there. I will say that some parts that are okay. I liked, like when they lock her in the room and she starts hearing voices and seeing things. I thought that was interesting, but they missed a big opportunity to focus more on the satanic cult type thing, because they say there's two churches, or there's normally just one. There's one church, but there's two churches here. As this one thinks like the way to get people back into the church is to bring the spawn of Satan, that's going to bring people back to the church. That's what this church's goal is. It's like, who wrote this? This is somebody with like I don't know. They should do research into I don't know. I don't want to criticize the writer, and I know the director was a co-writer in this. Maybe she contributed the line at the end where they go, Damien will inherit their privilege of Robert Thorne. I don't understand this idea too, that Robert Thorne and his wife were privileged. They lived a life of privilege, but are we not supposed to? We're just supposed to assume that they just inherited this life of privilege? Is that what they're trying to say at the end? Like, what is this? He's gonna inherit their privilege. How do we not know they didn't struggle to get to where they were? He's an older man married to this younger woman in the first movie, and he wants to have a child. His wife wants to have a child really badly with him, and yes, he's the ambassador. He becomes the ambassador in the beginning of that film, or actually, yeah, after they didn't even know he was going to be the ambassador. So how the f did they even know that? That's what this movie got it wrong. In the first film, he becomes the ambassador. He comes home and he tells her, "You're looking at the new ambassador," blah blah blah. So he was just in politics. He could have been a nothing in politics, just a regular, senator or congressman. And I'm supposed to assume that every single senator and congressman, I know there's a lot of garbage ones, many of them, but all of them had a life of privilege. A lot of these people, there's a congressman I know that has no legs, I think, right? He was in war. He was was a soldier. He lost both his legs. Did that guy have a life of privilege? According to this, that was just a stupid line that I disliked. I really disliked that line. I was just like, ugh. And then Father Brennan incorporating him so much in this. Oh, this is the biggest one too I had a problem with. As I said, in the original, they go to the grave, they open it, and they see that the mother's a jackal. That the mother is actual jackal. So why in this movie, and he says, Father Brennan says, I knew the mother was a jackal. That wasn't a metaphor, because they wouldn't show the jackal's bones at the grave if it was a metaphor. He was actually saying it was a jackal. But in this film, no, they retcon it where it's her. She's the one that gives birth to him. Satan came, made love to her, got her pregnant, which I will say that was a cool part, because I was like, what the hell's happening? She's like convulsing after this car accident, and then all of a sudden she like rips her shirt off and her stomach grows instantly. to give birth to this child or children. So I thought that was cool. But the same thing again, too. Having 2 kids instead of 1 diminishes Damien's purpose and worth. Ugh. I guess they thought, oh, we could do a sequel now. We could have it about her. Whatever her name is. I don't even remember what her name is. So at the end, Luz, I forgot how to pronounce her name. She stabs Margaret. Margaret falls and is bleeding, and then they set the room on fire. I don't know. The fire in the original movie was on the 7th floor of the hospital where Robert Thorne went, and his wife was having the baby. And he went to that hospital, and they told him his child died. After that night, after they gave him Damien and he left, there was a fire on the 7th floor with another priest who I don't even know if he's in. I don't even remember if he's in this or not, because he should be. I think he looks like a guy in here. There's a guy that looks like this guy, but I'm not sure. And there's no other male character in this movie that has any sort of sympathy. There's one, Father Gabriel, but he dies. And then Father Brennan. These are the only 2 good people, and Father Brennan's like they had to put him in here. That's what it feels like. It feels like they had to, and he's boring. And he goes to her for help, and he goes to this guy for help, which I could get it because he's excommunicated. Okay, but he does nothing. It's just, all the men are just, they don't do anything. They don't do anything. They're all evil except for these 2. And even at the end, instead of having him come rescue, Father Brennan rescue the mother, no, it's Clarita rescues the mother. And then the 3 of them are living in a house together somewhere at the end. And Father Brennan comes and says, do you want to know, he's gaining power. He's 6 years old. He's gaining power. And I guess, because people were dying and everything at that time, But they also devalue so much by doing some things the same. Like that scene where the girl goes, it's for you, and she jumps off and she kills herself. She sets herself on fire first. That's the only difference. But she does the same thing she does in the Omen. So it's just like, ugh. Only one cool scene, I will say, was when the birth happened. But then I was like, why is it coming out like that? Why does it look like that? It's just her vision, I guess. Because it was like Satan's hand coming out of a woman's giving birth and Satan's hand comes out. The movie's just boring. It only got interesting halfway into the film. And then then you figure it out right away. You go, oh, it's her. It's just like, ugh. I don't know. It's not a horrible film. It really isn't a horrible film. It's a predictable film. It's a boring film at times. And the whole beginning is boring. And mind you, the original Omen is compared to this, the original Omen's a masterpiece in my opinion. And I'm not a huge fan of the original Omen, but because the original Omen, there were times where I'm like, this is kind of boring. But the interesting part is figuring it out. This whole mystery, like what is the legend? What's gonna happen? What are they saying? Like, because there's a whole poem that Robert Thorne has to remember in the original, and it's about the end of times and what's going to happen, and like how they say how to interpret what the poem means according to him and his kid, and like they talk about the political powers and all these things has something to do inside this poem, and it's interesting. And they talk about like a North Star in there, and they said, oh, in Israel they saw this comet that came down and it looked like a second North Star. So there's all these things in the original movie that keeps the movie going, and it's not. They don't cheapen it by doing like little stupid. They do jump scares in this too. There's some few jump scares that I don't know, but. Some people like that. I don't like that. And then the actors that they do have, the male actors, like the one from Shaun of the Dead. I forgot his name. Was it Bill Nye the Science? No, not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye, or whatever. He plays Cardinal, and he's the one that brought Margaret to Rome, and he's known her forever. He was there where she was born or whatever. So he's a good actor. He's a great actor. They don't use him at all. I don't even think he's in. Sometimes they only focus on him. I don't even know if he's there, if he was at a green screen, if he was at there's a scene with him and her in the car. They're never the same frame together, so I don't think they were actually in the same car. So I don't know. I don't know. I really didn't like the movie that much. It's not a terrible film. It was competently made. The guy looks a little bit like Father Brennan, and I thought she did a good job directing it. I think the writing is lackluster, but it's not horrible. It's just predictable, and the film is really boring. So, yeah, if I had to rate this film, I give it 2 out of 5 stars, and I think I'm kind of being too kind by giving it 2, but yeah, I gave it 2 out of 5. You know, I just think it devalues the original Omen. And I don't know. A lot of people like this movie, so maybe I'm the odd man here. Anyway, that's my review for The Omen. Going off memory, just leaving the theater. Let me know what you thought about the film in the comment section down below. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.